Hello, hello. Perfidious Pete here, my spurs, boots, and Stetson in hand, ready to saddle up once again for another go-round of XCOM, the Long War. The old draw's been pretty good to us our last two rides. First we run the legs off a bull named Surly Sectopod to take that old buckle down in Brazil, and then we slapped the hide off a meek little spinner called Crashed Carlos down to Australia. We scored up pretty well too, and save for Red Brown, every single one of our troopers has managed to hang on for a qualifying ride. Of course, the final round's coming up, and if we want our 8 seconds of glory, we're going to have to get this bull out of the chute. So let's get to yee-hawing. Okay, well, that's enough of that shit. Closest I've actually ever been to anything resembling a rodeo was listening to the Garth Brooks song of the same name while getting wasted at a cowboy bar called Cowboy 2000. So, not exactly, Luke Perry over here. Yeah, I said Luke Perry. He was a bull rider. Look it up. Go ahead. Seriously, Google that shit. I'll wait. Yeah, see? 8 seconds. Yeah. Luke Perry. Bull rider. A famous bull rider who died. I don't remember that guy's name because, I mean, let's face it, famous bull rider is sort of like internet celebrity. It's not actually anyone's actually going to recognize. But still, Luke Perry did play him in a movie, which actually, surprisingly, wasn't that bad considering that it starred Luke Perry. He wasn't always just Dylan McKay, you know. He's got chops. Serious dramatic chops. Guy was in a movie with Ashley Judd once, man. Come on. Anyway, speaking of getting this bull out of the chute, we actually do need to do that. Really nothing for us to do right now. We've got no sort of maintenance tasks or anything on our list. Just going to head down and get the scanning. Really, the only thing we have to keep in mind is that we do want to get a satellite up over New Mexico, or over Mexico, rather, not New Mexico. Actually, technically, I already have one there. But we do want to get a satellite up over Mexico before that council report ticks. So let's get to scanning. That's actually pretty tempting. I'm having a bit of an internal debate here. You can't hear the voices in my head screaming at each other, but I assure you that they are. I mean, oh god. Now, don't go getting the threats of violence. Come on. Put the knife away. Alright, that's better. Don't make us call the police again. You don't have another domestic disturbance on there this month, guys. Come on, settle down. The voices in my head are an elderly couple that really hate each other but have been married for 25 years, so trust me, it's more distracting for me than it is for you. Anyway, I'm still... You know what? I'm going to do it, actually. We don't really need 50 muton corpses, even for the research stuff that we've got. We're going to need at most 40, which will leave us with 2, and we've already autopsied them, so no reason to not go ahead and get that out of the way. So let's go scan, then. Nice to see Drake's back on duty, which means we do currently have at least one mech trooper who's available. And our pulse laser research has finished. That's fantastic. This is going to give us a bunch of new weapon options. Very loud weapon options. Apparently the game very excited about the pulse rifle. Pulse carbine, Gatling pulsar, blaster, pulse stun gun, super heavy pulsar. Pulse Auto Blaster, which is very interesting, actually. I think I might build one of those. We do have a mobility gunner that doesn't really currently have a really great weapon. The Pulse Auto Blaster actually might be a nice compromise. Right now, though, some research. Alien propulsion is looking real tempting. I really would like to start getting some firestorms in the air. Very long time for that, though. What else have we got? Oh, Muton Interrogation. You know what? We're going to actually do the Muton Interrogation, and I'll tell you why. Unless I'm an idiot, and I mean, I am an idiot, so, you know, take this for what it's worth. I believe the Muton Interrogation Research Project does unlock tactical rigging, which allows you, once you complete that Foundry Project, to carry 3 pieces of war gear into battle, and that would be very, very handy for us. So, you know what? Yeah, we're going to actually do that. Let's interrogate a Muton. Also, I can see by the look in her eyes that Dr. Valen is deeply, deeply aroused. She's really looking forward to seeing that big brute get what's coming to him. Big, strong, burly, hulking man there. I mean, maybe man, could be a dude, or could be a hermaphrodite. Who knows how the alien's junk works. But anyway, Dr. Valen definitely has a huge lady boner going right now. I mean, a big one. Bigger than Pink's. And I gotta assume that Pink would have a fairly significant lady boner. Although... you know, honestly, I don't really want to know what Pink's got going on under the hood now that I think about it. Let's just forget that I said that. And I'm just going to bail on this whole thing before I dig my hole any deeper. That pause, though, does give us a good opportunity to go ahead and launch that satellite. So let's get that up over Mexico. We can just take care of that now. I'm fairly confident that in the 2 days between now and our council report, it's unlikely that the aliens will launch any kind of mission, in a terror mission or some kind of bombing mission or anything in Mexico. It seems unlikely.
Satellite launched.
That being said, it's almost now guaranteed to happen that they will bomb it or launch a terror mission or something there, and we'll have wasted that satellite. On the plus side, we will have a satellite at the ready, though, so we can launch another base raid. Woo! That's taken care of, and while I'm thinking of things, Dr. Shen, you know what? I'm going to come visit you for once of my own volition so that I can build... What was that thing called? Pulse Auto Blaster, I think? Yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and build that. It's pretty pricey there, Dr. Shen. That's a lot of Illyrium and alloys, in addition to a boatload of cash. I think you're sandbagging me, man. Are you like holding back components and selling them on the gray market? I got my eye on you, man. I'm sending somebody down to do the inventory. Keeping an eye on your shit. The hell you're up to, you sneaky bastard. Also, the fact that you're suddenly very quiet makes me think that you're somehow guilty. You seem guiltier than usual, in fact. And so, Dr. Shen then merits keeping an eye on. Let's see if we can get to our council report.
Contact detected.
Not a chance. So this is interesting. A destroyer, huh? Alright, well, let's send some guys up on defensive. Candyman, you're gonna go be, well, I hate to say it, buddy, but you're basically a spike strip. Really, all we're looking to do with you is maybe slow those guys down a little.
Engaging.
And honestly, I'm not sanguine about your chances of doing that, to be perfectly honest.
Closing on target.
Whoa!
Disengaging.
A surprising amount of damage there. And also, way to be. I don't think you managed to garner a single hit, so...
Contact detected.
Well done, sir. Well done. Let's throw a little chicken fucker at him. And yeah, I'm talking about Gonzo. Yeah. So you think it's strange that I make fun of a wad of fur and plastic that likes to have sexual intercourse with chickens? Honestly, I think the actual question is, why don't you have a problem with a Muppet that nails chickens? Whoa, Jesus Christ. This thing does an enormous amount of damage. 2 hits and it almost KO'd us. So we're going to have to be very careful on our intercepts here. This thing really does just ruinous damage when it hits us. Fortunately, we've gone through our shitty pilots, and we're on to, I would say, the good pilots, but not actually sure if, apart from Banjo, we actually have a good pilot.
Approaching target now.
And I'd really like to avoid sending... Holy shit! That was one fucking hit! We did 3/4 of our damage in a single hit. We've our next research project then has absolutely got to be the Firestorm project. We're gonna need some more durable craft if the aliens are gonna start sending shit like this at us on a routine basis.
Detected.
I'm not sure we're even gonna be able to shoot this thing down. I mean, we do have our ace in the hole here. Banjo is playing the music, which customarily means somebody's about to get cornholed. But
Closing on target.
let's hope it's the aliens, not us. Come on, Banjo buddy. There you go. Didn't even take damage. Realistically, we should have just sent Banjo in the first place. I mean, I don't know why we were wasting time with sort of pilots. When you've got the Banjonator around, I mean, sure, I don't have a pilot named Kazooie, but Banjo still gets the job done, even without his ride-along... I don't know what the hell Banjo was. Ostrich? Let's go with that. Anyway, let's get up a crew here. We're going to need to assault this. Now, this is a medium UFO, crashed. Did it say what our resistance level was like? It does not. Okay. Hoping it might give us an idea. So we're in a forest, heavy vegetation. And this crew the computer has auto-selected, I gotta say, isn't really filling me with a whole lot of hope. Didn't look that good. Let's take a look at our lineup. Just a couple days until our troopers who went on the base raid will be back online. And we do have Drake and Kanye. Jonathan Ki Kwan, nothing to sneeze at. Alright, we can actually build a pretty decent team here. Do we have an officer of any kind? No. None of our snipers? All of our snipers are tired? How? Is one of them hurt? No. Oh, 5 hours. Way to be, Rihanna. Nice to make yourself reliable. Alright then, we may have to, like, double up on gunners or something. Anyway, let's find somebody to lead this mission. I guess Wesley Taxasuck Snipes as our infantry guy is gonna get the call in that. Take a look at his loadout. Phalanx armor, Gauss rifle. Wesley is solid, actually, so ready to roll. You know what? We're probably going to need the surgeon. As much as I hate to kind of bring him out for no particular reason, I really think we might need his services. And let's give the surgeon... You know what? Let's give him a Gauss rifle. He actually has... Chris Brown has pretty good aim. We'll go ahead and kit him out with an actual weapon. Also, I don't think we're going to really need it for anyone else, so it's the other reason I'm willing to spare it for him. Megan Desert Fox going to be an absolute must. And Phalanx armor for Megan? Yeah. Let's give her her Gauss machine gun, and we're going to give her, of course, a scope. And her customary alloy bipod. Gonna need a scout for sure, and that's gonna be Kanye West. No doubt in my mind, Kanye was the only reasonable scout we still have available. Aegis armor for the Westonator. Or the Westerner, I guess, might be more appropriate. Anyway, flashbang, and of course an arc thrower. Wouldn't mind dragging back another alien captive for Dr. Shen to sort of put the thumb screws to. Of course, Dr. Shen puts the thumb screws to basically anyone she can, because that's just kind of her thing. She's into it. Man, we don't have a whole lot else working for us, do we? When even Kristen Stewart is tired, you know you're getting near the bottom of the barrel. So I guess we'll take a mobility gunner? Let's take Nicki Minaj. You know what? We'll give Nicki Banshee armor, actually. And we will give her, actually, let's give her our auto laser. Since we are going to try and use a mobility build with Nicki. Now, Nicki actually doesn't have holo targeting, which normally, you know what? Strike that. We're actually not even going to take Nicki. She doesn't have the right abilities. I believe Taylor Lautner actually was who we... You want to clear her off then, please? Thank you. Maybe make items available. I can't believe I'm saying we've got to make room for Taylor Lautner, but we got to make room for Taylor Lautner. Where you at, Lautner? There you are. Lautner has a lower aim, but we really don't care. He has holo targeting, so... Basically, he's just going to be warming up shots for someone who actually might matter. He's going to be carrying a scope and a laser sight. And I suppose we can put him in Banshee armor. Maybe he'll fling himself up a tree. Who the hell knows? Honestly, we'd prefer if he just turned himself into a dog and chewed our enemies to pieces, but probably not actually an option. Assault Trooper, absolutely. Gonna be Jonathan Key Kwan, no doubt. Jonathan Key Kwan's gonna grab some Aegis armor. Gonna grab an alloy cannon. It's gonna be, of course, breaching ammo in case of Berserker. And then for Key Kwan's complete outfit, arc thrower, of course. And I think we're gonna take a Rocketeer because all I have left that's worth a shit is Rocketeers. And that's saying that Tiger Woods is actually worth a single shit, which not necessarily sure is actually the case. Tiger Woods might be worth slightly less than one shit. I always wondered that when people say don't give a shit. Precisely what is a shit worth? I mean, did you quantify that? Does it just have like a monetary value that goes with a shit? Could we actually have the International Council of Standards, Weights, and Measures get on that and finally, once and for all, just settle exactly how little you care when you care a shit or you don't give a shit? I mean, how little is that? I need to know. It seems like it would be a very small quantity. What is the worth of a single shit? Anyway. Mech Warden suit for Drake. He and his magic legs are going to be toting a railgun, flamethrower, and alloy belt into battle for us. And with that done, I think we can probably launch this bad boy out and get stuck in. Alright, y'all, we got a long, hard ride ahead of us, and Luke Perry's going to be real upset if we all don't come back with a qualifying ride, so I want everybody to knuckle down, get the ropes wound tight, put the spurs to the bull, and get to riding. Yeehaw!
Listen up. We're going to be dropping
My Western impression there, which is mostly just an excuse for me to say yeehaw.
Our target touched down inside a major
Not that you need an excuse to yeehaw, because yeehaw! See, it's real easy.
We don't secure the area on the double.
Yeah, I didn't pay a single fucking bit of attention to what you just said, Central, because I know it doesn't matter. You were probably wrong anyway. What are we landing in? A densely populated urban area in the middle of Russia? I'm just going to assume that's what you said. Nice to see Tony Scott back on duty with the camera. Nothing like a little aircraft porn. Except literally any other kind of porn.
Strike one is ready to secure the craft.
Copy, Big Sky. Strike one is clear to attempt the breach.
Alright, let's see if we can track down the UFO, maybe get lucky. Well, it's right there in front of us, so... Thanks for making it easy, guys. Oh, I remember this map. We actually fought on this one not too terribly long ago. We'll just move up this right side, and then into the ship. So, Kanye?
Okay.
We're actually not even going to use a battle scanner early. I think I may hold off.
Roger. Got my eyes on.
We'll just take some fairly conservative moves. Look at all the squirrels, man. Good lord, tons of them. Oh. Way to go, fluffy dog boy. You started growling at them, and you scared away all my woodland friends.
Got it covered.
Piece of shit. I can't have nice things, and it's your fault.
10-4. Hostile spotted.
Alright, well that was maybe not necessarily the best thing we've ever done. And by best thing we've ever done, I actually mean probably one of these shittier things we've ever done. So we're in actually a real tough spot, almost immediately. Jonathan Keyquan. A run and gun will not help us. If we go this way, we're just going to have to run back around it on the next turn, so I'm not actually too hopeful about doing that. Leslie, why don't you step forward? So, it's just one unit that can see. We actually might have an opportunity to set up a bit of an Overwatch trap here. And Chris the Surgeon Brown is probably just the man to help us do it. There is a Mutant Elite in that pack. Mutant Elites have literally amazing aim. They very, very, very rarely miss. And by very, very rarely, I mean they basically don't miss ever. And I would have him go into full cover mode and just have someone hide behind it, but honestly, I'm actually worried that that's just going to draw a grenade from a Muton, and I would honestly prefer to avoid that if at all possible.
Heading there now.
Ah, Tiger Woods, I did not want you to have a visible enemy, buddy. I really wanted you to steady weapon. In fact, you know what? We may have to just risk scattering one. How far can you shoot it? Not far enough. What if you throw a shredder rocket? Any better? Is that actually going to shred anything? I can't tell. I think it might shred too, maybe? Ah, whatever. It's not like you're going to do anything else with it. You might as well fire it.
Heavy ordnance confirmed.
I think Tiger managed to do 1 damage to a single enemy. So, nicely done.
Scanning.
That was literally the most worthless shot you could have possibly taken. Just firing your regular weapon would have likely produced more damage. And by likely, I mean almost certainly have produced more damage. Jonathan Keyquan, is that another Mutant Elite? No, okay. I was worried that we had 2 Mutant Elites. I was gonna be a little bit worried. We can probably handle 1. 2 would be a little bit dangerous. So, Surgeon? Would you cover our forward units, please? Well, some of them, which means Drake is going to eat all the bullets ever made. This is already terrible. This has pretty much gone as bad as it could possibly go. Drake, you can't stand there. I'm sorry, you cannot stand there. Get out of line of sight.
Heading there now.
So we've got to get Drake out of line of sight. We can't leave him there. He's just going to get literally blown to haggis. That's unexpected, actually. I was going to be a little upset if he hit a guy in full cover and smoke. I was going to call bullshit on that immediately. Blood call. Alright, so that's going to improve the aim of everyone else. Not that I expect any of them to be able to hit anything. Our troops should be about as defendable as it is possible to make them. Except for grenades, they should be largely immune to any kind of incoming damage here.
That was close.
That was a bold move. Stepped up, what, like 6-7 feet?
I'm taking fire.
Actually, that was our one vulnerable trooper, and we got sort of lucky with the miss there. Alright, so we're in a long-range gunfight. This is looking like it may be a very protracted battle. Can we destroy any cover? I would prefer to destroy some of their cover before really going at them. What can you do with a grenade here? Yeah, let's... Ooh, that's better, actually. Not exactly what I wanted from cover destruction, but better chance for damage for Tiger Woods. I hate you so much, Tiger Woods. There are not words to express the magnitude of my hatred for you. I want you to know.
Headed there now.
I hate you more than there are words to describe. So a 35% chance. Good God, Taylor Lautner, you are worthless. Actually, the only thing you achieved with that move was to lower Megan Fox's chance to hit. That's all you did. Alright, well, let's see if Megan Fox can maybe score a kill or two on some of these other mutants. Starting things off with a miss isn't exactly strong, Megan. Also didn't manage to get a kill. A little worried about your long-term chances with the project. Jonathan Keyquan does not have a grenade. This is where I'm wishing I had brought an engineer along instead of Tiger Woods, who is now 0 for 2, I'd like to point out. Just throwing that out there, Tiger. You're 0 for 2, buddy. 0 for 2. Wesley Snipes with a nice miss.
That is not good.
Yeah, you're right. That is... Ooh. That's probably too long. I'm actually considering trying to get a flamethrower shot, but I think it's going to be too many tiles. It only goes 7. Let's see what else let's see if anybody else can contribute literally anything. Kanye West has a 1% chance to hit. And I think he might actually be it for what we have left. And by I think he might be it, I mean he's pretty much it. I wouldn't mind trying to go for a flank, but we don't know what's over there, and I could easily spawn another pod, which arguably would be worse. The slick shoes do anything. Nope. So it's going to be Overwatch for Jonathan Keyquan, and the Surgeon's going to move up. He has a shot, I might take it, but I'm pretty sure he won't. Yeah, it's going to be Overwatch for Slick Shoes.
Got my eyes on.
Alright, let's try and mitigate. We'll try to get Drake in a better position while mitigating some of the incoming damage
Moving out.
by having him jump behind a rock. So we're really relying on Drake to do a lot of work here, and I gotta say, it's a strategy that has me more than a little concerned, because previously every time we've actually relied on Drake to do effectively anything, he has failed at every opportunity. So bear in mind, can you get... It's a terrible hit chance, I don't care. It'll move him. And that leaves us just Taylor Lautner, who... Good God, man, you're terrible. Oh, there we go. Maybe that'll poke him out enough that Lautner can get a hit. Or, fuck it, he could just whiz it down his leg. So I'd like to point out that unit was in full cover and in dense smoke when he got hit. Just throwing that out there. Make of that what you will. What you will. And Wesley Taxes Suck Snipes may be going down in a heap. Things aren't looking good for him. He's drawing an inappropriate amount of violence. So old Taxes Suck just can't seem to stay out of the hospital. Every time he gets out, he goes right back in. Pulling a little Godfather 2 style move there. Every time just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. So Kanye, we're going to need you to draw this Overwatch here. Gotta freeze somebody up because we need one trooper who can actually do something, and as much as that shames me to admit, we're relying on Drake to get the job done here. But why don't you step up right here and send a line of flame down the row of the enemies. Actually, not too terribly worried about that, Frick. Pretty sure we can finish off one Muton. Nice of you to not be able to hit the other Muton. Should have gone one tile further forward. 2 kills for Drake, though, and he also panicked the Elite and made him move to worse cover. Can you flush that guy? Flush him out of there, please, Kanye. Hitting him also wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Alright.
Copy that.
Gonna do something a little bit risky here. We're gonna actually rely on Taylor Lautner to not be an idiot. So, could you maybe hit that guy, Taylor? Sweet fuck, man. That was a 90% shot, buddy. If you can't hit that, you're not long for the XCOM project, because you're gonna be fucking dead. You may be dead next turn.
Adjusting sights.
No one can hit a goddamn thing suddenly.
Moving to firing
So it's gonna be up to Jonathan Key Kwan to try and salvage this fucking train wreck.
Roger, Dodger.
Man, guys, I just like to point out here, the only person who has actually done anything at all on this turn is Drake. He's the only one who didn't manage to shame himself. Okay, so now Drake and Jonathan Key Kwan. So 2 out of the 7 troopers that we brought, or 8, however many we got, fuck, I don't even care at this point. You're all failures. It doesn't matter how many of you there are. You've all managed to fail. Every fucking one of you. Wesley Snipes is going to do some trivial bullshit that's not going to amount to a goddamn thing in the long run. Yeah, whatever.
Missed.
I'm giving up on all of you. You're all fired. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to fire you. If I fire all of you, then I got to pay severance, and that just seems like a stupid waste. Why would I pay severance to 2 people, 2 of your... Why should I pay severance pay to troopers of your quality? Really, I should just leave you where you're at and let the enemy kill you. Then I don't have to worry about paying... Well, then I got to pay death benefits. Now I'm actually torn by which one is worse, paying death benefits or just actually severancing you out. Maybe Chris Brown, the one experienced trooper? You know what, Chris? You're a shining example, despite the fact, yes, I know you failed to kill that guy and whatnot, but still, you're a shining example to the rest of our troopers. We always suspected that Drake was going to take damage there, because, well, once we failed to kill some of that shit, he was going to take damage there. There was no question about it. Good God, you're a piece of shit, Taylor Lautner. Taylor Lautner has not hit a single thing this entire mission. I just like to throw that out there. He hasn't hit anything. Nothing. Megan Fox should be able to get the double tap kill here, so we got 1 unit down. And looks like she's going to finish things off. So like 3 of our 8 troopers actually came to play, and everyone else it's just a happy fun kitty hour where they're just banding about, waiting for mommy to come pick them up so they can go home and have their juice box. Wesley Snipes, I'm specifically referring to you with the juice box comment.
Okay.
I know you're fond of juice. But I gotta say, if things keep up this way, nobody's getting a juice box because none of you are coming back alive.
Double time.
That was the first pod here. We still gotta go inside this goddamn ship. And at this point, Wesley, you're riding drag. I mean, to continue my cowboy metaphors from earlier.
Killing time.
You're definitely you're riding drag on this herd because we can't afford to put you in any kind of danger at this point. You have 1 health left.
Heading to that location.
And I know we have a med kits and that I could heal you, but honestly, at this point, based on the way you're performing, I gotta say, I feel that healing you is actually probably a waste
Solid copy.
of our medic's time. Our medic is actually better employed
Online.
trying to do damage to the enemy. Also, Drake is out of ammo. That's not necessarily great. I'm not hopeful about having a chance of getting that meld canister without spawning every alien in the universe. And there is at least 1 more pod of mutons somewhere.
Position confirmed.
Yeah, we're not going to take that advance. So let's go here, Kanye. This should not pop any aliens. All right. I guess we'll set up for like a pseudo breach, but honestly, I'm terrified about what's going to be in this ship. I have a feeling it's just going to murder everyone. We're going to reload there. We need our 1 trooper who's willing to contribute anything in a position with ammo at the same time, so that might be a neat trick.
I'm on my way.
Drake's going to run around here, come up with maybe a possible flank in the side of this alien vessel. And we'll just put Drake on Overwatch for now. Slick shoes. Why don't you take cover behind that tree? And be on Overwatch for us if you would, sir. You have managed to harm the enemy, so you're, I mean, you're an you're infinitely better so far than your companion there, who has yet to hit a single goddamn thing, except for a log. Sorry, he did kill the holy living shit out of that random log. I don't want to take that away from him.
On the move.
So 1 log kill confirmed for Taylor Lautner. It's bad news for the logging industry, but good news for the XCOM project. We don't have to worry about the wooden menace any longer. It's been roundly handled thanks to Taylor Lautner and his trusty laser machine gun.
Enemy contacts.
Here comes a berserker.
They're shifting their attack.
Actually, having a berserker come at us is not necessarily the worst thing ever. Especially when Drake's going to put a nice railgun round right through its skull to start things off.
Cover my flank.
So that guy's basically out in the open waiting to eat all the shit. The only problem is we're going to have guys like Taylor Lautner shooting at him, and... well, I think history speaks for itself, and how useful is Taylor Lautner department. Go ahead and fire, Lautner. Bring him closer. And so Taylor Lautner finally managed to connect with the enemy. I was concerned for a moment that he might not remember which end of his weapon is actually supposed to be pointed at the enemy, but it looks like he finally snapped to and recalled. Can I have Megan Fox, please? Please kill that floater. Missing a lot of high percentage shots here, guys. I don't mean to harp on the subject, but this is sort of life or death here. You know, I mean, this stuff matters. This isn't, I mean, this isn't a training exercise or anything. This is, it actually counts. We're gonna have Wesley Snipes kill the floater because I'm worried that he's gonna panic like an idiot. He has been gravely wounded before, and he's not exactly the highest rank. So unlike any character in any movie he's ever been in, Wesley is not quite the coolest of cucumbers. I mean, let's face it, he's no Blade. Also, this is going to pull a... I'd like to pretend that I planned that, but I totally didn't plan that. I actually forgot Jonathan Keyquan even had close encounters, so... It has the added benefit also, though, of pulling him closer, so Jonathan Keyquan should actually be able to shoot at him twice here. He got the free reaction shot, then he's going to get another shot here for free. And assuming he doesn't panic, one more. Or assuming he doesn't panic, he's actually going to try and capture that son of a bitch. Wow, this would be a coup if Jonathan Keyquan actually pulled the surprise stun.
Light him up.
Jonathan Keyquan is in mission MVP. Voting is over, ballots are closed, the polls are finished. Jonathan Keyquan has taken the title. There's no room for debate on the subject. Kanye is going to grab us a little meld.
In hand, Commander.
And actually, there were other mutons up here. I mean, I know they're up there somewhere. Don't really feel that Kanye is going to be able to contribute much from inside the alien spaceship, all alone, coming in by the back door. And yet I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm a stupid, stupid man. And a glutton for punishment. Who's over there with the surgeon? I actually, at this point, don't recall. Oh, it's Tiger Woods.
Headed there now.
Well, if anybody's going to get shot and killed, I would prefer that it be Tiger Woods. So, Tiger, why don't you go on Overwatch?
Scanning.
Drake, buddy, actually, I sort of like you where you're at. Why don't you come over this way, maybe a little? Preferably you don't spawn some pod that's lurking back there. That would be very bad. Then why don't you go on Overwatch? Doc Brown, buddy, honestly, I sort of like you where you're at.
Roger. I've got my eyes on.
Alright, so this may be the end for Wesley Snipes, then. We should have moved him. Yeah.
Trying to flank us.
I don't think this is going to matter. Well, a noble effort from Tiger Woods. I don't think it's going to be... I mean, it's clearly not enough to save Wesley Snipes. Well, Blade is no more. I'm tempted to be sadder about that, but honestly, Wesley Snipes has been so fucking awful for us almost every time we brought him out that I'm really not that sad to see him go. That's, I hate to say it, buddy, but, it's just the way it is. You kind of earned that one, Wesley. Meanwhile, Taylor Lautner continues Misfest 2015. Nicely done. Of course, you're not the only one.
Adjusting sights.
Hey, you know why you might not be out of ammo? If you ever actually hit a target. I mean, just something to consider. If you ever hit a target, you might have ammunition to shoot at them with. This is... yeah. we can't actually risk having any more troopers killed. So it's going to be a rocket. Just Tiger Woods going to go for the make sure around here. Need a definitive hit, and Tiger's the only one who's going to deliver that. So Tiger Woods has actually been useful this mission, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Kanye, just come in here and look around. There's probably still another pod in here, to be perfectly honest. I would prefer if you should not spawn them, actually, Kanye. So that just leaves Jonathan Key Kwan, who can run and gun, but even if he does run and gun, I'm not sure it's gonna... we actually don't want him to run and gun, because for once I remember that something is on Overwatch. Shocking, I know, but we're actually just gonna trade fire. And by trade fire, I mean that Drake, realizing that the chips are down, is just gonna straight up murder that son of a bitch. Just, he full-on blew him into absolute... crimson mist. Just, he clouded him.
Rolling out.
That was probably ridiculously stupid. Yeah, that was unbelievably stupid, actually. I'm just seriously fucking this mission up every single possible way. I knew there were going to be more enemies, and I'm a stupid man. I don't know, that was indefensible. So Jonathan Key Kwan probably also going to die. And that was, I mean, literally, just utterly indefensible. Actually, Jonathan Key Kwan might live because it looks like he's going to get mind-controlled. That may be the only thing that saves him. Nope, he's going to get butchered by a Muton. Why is that Muton throwing a grenade? Okay. Well, I'm not complaining. I mean, that outsider's still going to shoot him, and he's probably also going to get mind-controlled. Or panicked. Panic also bad. Although that is going to make him harder to hit since he's going to hunker down. What are you shooting at?
Armor is for.
Yeah, just, you know what? Panic actually may be the best thing for you in this situation, Jonathan Key Kwan. Not only because it's the logical thing to do, because shit, if I was you, and, you know, if I were you, rather, and, my commander had dug me into this situation, I'd fucking panic too. I mean, it's the only logical response. Really, you're the only person here who's doing anything sensible at all. Fortunately, Drake still has this old flamethrower on his hands, and he knows how to use it. And when it comes to sectoids, I'm just not overly worried about those fellas. Pretty sure we can handle them. So that guy's going to fall back, or should. Is he not panicked? Yes, okay. I was going to say, that outsider should absolutely be panicked.
Headed there now.
And turns out our flanking maneuver that we set up with Kanye may be paying some dividends in short order.
Scanning.
Not that there was anything good about that idea, or any idea that I've had on this entire mission, honestly. I have shamed the XCOM project. Which, I mean, think about it. When I say I've shamed the XCOM project, that's actually an accomplishment, because when you're as bad as we are, shaming something this disreputable is actually pretty goddamn difficult. I mean, you gotta be a monumental fuck-up to bring shame to this project. And yet, I found a way. Wesley Snipes killed. Muton Berserker capture, really the only bright spot in this entire mission.
Moving to designated position.
So we're going to take Chris Brown and Tiger Woods further in, just to see if maybe eventually they will chip something in. This mission has been just all around bad. I made a lot of bad decisions. Should have moved Wesley Snipes. Looks like Overwatch here for Kanye. That actually may prove to be problematic. And Kanye's also looks like he's going to take a hit here. Yeah, you really didn't want to panic there, Kanye. That was super awful. This has gone far, far south at a very rapid pace. Kanye may just be dead. Kanye West is killed. Oh, sorry, Kanye West is critically wounded. I'm actually not sure we can get anyone there to save him in time. Where's our medic? More than 3 turns away is the answer.
Heading there now.
This mission is going very, very badly. So it's up to the dynamic duo of Tiger Woods
Moving.
and Chris Brown to come over here and save these guys from their own stupidity. Tiger actually has a flank shot and scored a kill. Drake can actually finish these guys off. I have every confidence that Drake can finish this, but seriously, this mission is a complete and total Mongolian clusterfuck.
Initiating flamethrower assault.
So there's 2 more dead, 2 more kills for Drake. Oh, guys, this is truly awful. Chris Brown is actually... We're going to have Chris Brown double move.
That's affirmative.
He's got to get closer. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to save our man in time.
Yes, sir.
Taylor Lautner's going to dash. Jonathan Keyquan, tell me you're no longer panicked. So, of course, you're still panicked. Well done. Everyone, seriously, fine job. I'm really proud of all of you guys. You've really pulled together as a team. I feel that when the chips were down, you kept your heads, everyone stayed together, did the right things, made good decisions. No one has in any way fucked up or otherwise made a terrible, terrible, glaring tactical errors. I mean, really, things are going just fucking swimmingly for us. Swimmingly. Taylor Lautner with a rare hit. Megan Fox also has a shot. Well, you might as well take it. You're not going to shoot at anything else.
Got him.
Jonathan Keyquan has 9 health. And we need to kill this outsider. Jonathan Keyquan is going to run and gun and try and score the kill. This is monumentally stupid, but a wise man once said... He's also going to take Overwatch here, which I'm... Oh, no, we killed the Overwatching unit. Never mind. But a wise man once said, when you've done something foolish, really the only solution is to double down on your stupidity and go for broke.
Another day, another successful
So we
operation.
managed to scrape through with Tiger Woods, or I don't even remember who it was, Kanye West, actually, I think, only suffering a critical wound. And Operation First Future, pretty much concluding the future of Wesley Snipes. It's not his first future, it's pretty much the last of his future. Old Wesley found his way into... excuse me there. Old Wesley found his way into the morgue. Along with such fantabulous troopers. Yeah, you know what? Fuck Wesley Snipes. Fuck him. Should have paid his taxes. If he'd have paid his taxes, wouldn't have wound up in that British jail. We wouldn't have been able to trade for him. And you know what? Actually, the shameful part of this is I traded flight computers for that guy. Yeah, I did. Flight computers. But if he just paid his taxes, he wouldn't have wound up in that jail. We wouldn't have been able to trade flight computers to get him out of jail. And as such, you know, he would never have wound up as a shameful part of the XCOM project, and also would have wound up as a fucking corpse lying in the middle of the field somewhere in Africa. So let that be a lesson, kids. Pay your taxes. IRS, they're serious shit. Don't want to fuck around with the IRS. It's going to be heat ammo for Taylor Lautner, although why we should give him heat ammo, I'm honestly rather baffled at. I mean, the man can't hit a single target. I'm not sure what good special ammunition is going to do him, since those bullets have to connect with someone to actually do damage. On the plus side, we did actually... Oh, we captured a Muton Elite? Oh, that's the autopsy. I was going to say, we took a Berserker captive, so we traded Wesley Snipes for a Berserker. And we got one of the power sources back, or... I guess we traded flight computers, actually, for him. Out of hell with it. This mission should have been recode named from Operation First Future to Operation Complete Mongolian Fuck. Just an absolute cluster. From top to bottom, from in to out, from left to right, from up to down, back to front. Just a monumental cock-up. But with that done, let's head on down to the gray market. Otherwise, do need to sell these damaged UFO components, or I will not remember to do so. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And I'm seriously considering taking that 90 credits and actually hiring some more troopers, because at the rate we've been going through them lately, we might actually need a few more. I think I'll hold off on that. You know what? Nobody's going to whiz Wesley Snipes. Certainly not me. So, with Wesley planted firmly in the ground, and definitely an end to the Blade trilogy. It will only ever be a trilogy. There's never going to be a Blade 4. Certainly not now. We'll go ahead and wrap things up. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, and honestly I would be utterly confounded if you had, my play on that was just horrifically awful. Seriously, that's a shameful thing to watch, and I'm going to go weep now. So, If for some reason you'd like to subscribe to watch me continue to fail on a daily basis, you know where the button is. We'll see you again soon.